So good afternoon, everyone. It is now my pleasure to welcome Ciska Snyman as our next speaker, and she's going to talk about her research paper on virtual escape rooms. Ciska is a passionate instructional designer here at UP, and she's also currently pursuing a PhD in computer integrated education. Thanks so much, Ciska, for sharing with us today. Over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm going to tell you about a virtual escape room with a game-based learning strategy. So first things first, let's set the scene. So originally, we were going to play this game. It was planned before COVID, but then COVID happened, so it had to go from an in-person escape room to a virtual escape room. So we deployed this escape room in a module with over 8,000 students. The instructions were all done via Class Collaborate because that is what we were using to lecture at the time. And students participated in this escape room during the session, during one of their scheduled lecture sessions. And the steps for the escape room were set up on the learning management system that we use here at UP. So, the need for innovation. So with the rise of online education, especially during COVID, innovative methods were needed to engage students and also to enhance learning. So traditional teaching methods were not working in this scenario, and we needed some interactive elements and engaging experiences that are necessary for deep learning experiences. So an innovative strategy to captivate the students and also to foster active participation and actually do something practical instead of just listening or watching you do it. So that is how the escape room came about. So the aim of this study was to see how the escape room mainly affected the students' motivation, but there are always unintended outcomes that are being reached, such as engagement and critical thinking, as well as problem solving. So with the virtual escape room, it offered an innovative way to enhance the student interaction with the content, and that really allowed them to critically think about what they are doing and to see how their actions play out within the actual game. So the theories and models that were used for this study is firstly the constructivist learning theory, mainly to look at active and experiential learning. So the students build knowledge through experiences and reflections. And in terms of the game, this now relates to the puzzles and the steps that they need to follow. So the study was mainly guided by the framework called the ARCS model. So ARC stands for attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. So with attention inside the virtual escape room, it was to capture and maintain student focus. So a fun storyline, a fun scenario, something that they need to solve. The relevance component links to the puzzles, the challenges, and the clues. And these are also aligned with the course objective. In this scenario, the learning outcomes were all linked to 3 specific Excel modules and those functions that they needed to do. So that is where the relevance component comes in. And then the confidence. So progressive difficulty of task, it does build learner confidence. I am a true believer in learning through your mistakes and also keep on trying because that is truly how one learns. A lot of students really love this aspect, especially those competitive students that didn't want to give up until they get it right. And then the satisfaction component is where students experience a sense of accomplishment when they complete and escape the room and when they solve the murder or the scenario that one gives to them. So the actual game. The game consisted of 2 components. Like I mentioned, the game content was Excel. It is in information literacy module where they learn about Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. So this one specifically focused on Excel. So they needed an Excel workbook, and in conjunction with that, they use the online escape room link. So the two resources are connected. So you need a puzzle or a hint or a clue from either the Excel workbook or the online escape room to do something in the other resource. So you cannot go with just one of them. They are connected. So maybe something in the game will unlock a safe in the room that gives you a word that you need to use in your Excel function to solve the puzzle. So that is how the game was connected. And just to show you a little bit about how it looks is this is the Excel sheet, and there were 6 puzzles in the sheet, and here is the scenario. The scenario of this game was to solve a murder. You were at a dinner party and you had to help solve a murder. And this here at the bottom is the escape room. So like I said, you use these two are connected, so you need the one for the other one. And that is how you solve the murder. So with the study, it was a mixed method study. Considering 8,000 plus students in the module, there's always a great opportunity for data collection when it comes to those numbers. Of course, if the students choose to play the game or not. In this scenario, we could not make it compulsory. It was seen as what they refer to in this module inside the fun center, so a game-based approach to their learning. So it wasn't compulsory for students to do, but luckily around 546 students did the game. So that was excellent. And they played the game, and also more than half of that escaped. And the questions used in the quantitative data collection and the qualitative data collection were guided once again by the ARCS model, the attention, relevance, confidence, and success, and also the gaming elements. So the puzzles, the clues, the timer, the reward of escaping the room, and also the lock aspect of finally unlocking the door to escape the room, and then the interactivity. So what did I find with this game? So the virtual escape room definitely significantly boosted student motivation and engagement. The students reported back that they really loved the participation. They were motivated to escape, and the most common answer was the competitiveness. They wanted to beat their friends. They wanted to solve the murder and escape the room before one of their classmates. So the gaming elements really shined through in these findings because the students really connected with those gaming elements, and you could see that in the feedback. The students also really enjoyed that it was a stimulating learning environment because of the immersive, gamified nature of the escape room. And then, of course, the problem-solving task that comes with an escape room. It definitely promoted critical thinking as well as knowledge application. This was a fun way for the students to try out what they have learned about Excel in this module and to put it into action in a different scenario that they haven't really done before. And I think that fun element that comes with a game was really something that the students absolutely loved. In the data collection, many of them reported back that they wish more modules had this component for them to practice. So it doesn't always have to be a high stake assessment. It can be something that is there just for fun. So just some impact and next steps based on this study is virtual escape rooms definitely offer a powerful tool for innovation in education. And by integrating these game-based elements, you can create a dynamic and interactive learning experience. And this will definitely surpass traditional methods. And like I said here, it's recommended that educators consider including these to enhance their teaching and learning because students will be more motivated and they will be more engaged with your content. And this will help them reach the learning outcomes in a new way, okay? So in the future, I think definitely scalability of these escape rooms, especially across different educational contexts, as well as discipline, because I think that with a game, any game in education that one can think of, you can really fit it into any discipline. So the possibilities are endless. So what are my recommendations? If you don't try, you won't know. So don't be scared. Dream big. You have to try and find people who are like-minded, who are also innovators, and ask for input, ask for ideas, ask others that have tried this before, and plan your game well in advance, and definitely do a pilot study if you can, maybe with some of your colleagues. For me, I know that made a big difference, definitely to iron out anything that doesn't work well in your game, to make sure the instructions are clear and that students will be able to follow them, or your audience, and get feedback and improve your game. Continuous improvement with feedback is very crucial, and it will definitely make a big difference in your final product. And then I think the most difficult part when it comes to wanting to try anything new in education is money. Finding a system that one can use to build your game on is very difficult. Like I said here, rather use something that you already have access to at your institution. So anyone here that works at UP, you can try this with H5P definitely. Yeah, finding a software is very difficult, and some of them are very pricey. The one that I used for this game, it's called Room Escape Maker. It was expensive, but it was worth it. Okay, thank you so much. That is it from my side. I've put my email here as well as a QR code that you can scan. If anyone has any questions, or if you would like to play this game, I can send it to you and you can try it out. Or you can just let me know if you need any guidance or have any questions. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ciska. You've already answered one of my questions. I definitely wanted to know where, how did you make this? So, for anyone else that was jotting it down, she mentioned Room Escape Maker is the tool that they used. Ciska, just from my side, do you know at UP at the moment, is anyone monitoring how many such game-based modules are currently being offered, and how students are doing with that? Because I know about your own studies, but are there many such modules?
No, simply because of the price of these software. But I am aware of a module that I'm currently assisting who's trying to make their whole curriculum an escape room sequence of events with different H5P activities. So I will report back on that maybe next year.
While you are working on that, won't you develop a training course for all of us so that we can do game-based design, please, as part of your EI packages that you have?
I'll definitely look into it.
Thanks so much. So Tasha has asked there, yes, she would love to try it. Must she message you on LinkedIn, or how can I make contact with you?
Yes, you can message on LinkedIn or email. Let me type my email here in the box as well if anyone would like to copy it, and then I can send you the escape room files.
Wonderful. And then I see Baritile has her hand up. You're welcome to speak.
Ciska, thanks for sharing such an informative presentation. I've come across a lot of, I suppose, escape rooms, some of them obviously on Google Forms, because of, I suppose, them being accessible to everyone, including the lecturer who's designing the games. I just wanted to ask you, did the game run through the module or the entire course? And I guess, what are your thoughts in terms of how we integrate game-based learning in our modules? Because sometimes I feel it's perhaps in the middle, but what do you think about games being sort of integrated in terms of having a golden thread throughout the module or course?
I think it definitely depends, because many times we over-assess students and too many activities are not always good. So there needs to be there need to be a balance between the actual assessments and these game elements, because we always need to remember that students don't just take your module. And that is the reason why with this specific game, we included it as a class activity, and I try to make it as short as possible so that it doesn't take time away from the actual content that needs to be taught. So it was done in a revision week. Hence I said it wasn't compulsory, because it's difficult to get approval to incorporate these kinds of things in a real credit-bearing module. So I think you must just be mindful of the workload of the students.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Valitile. And then I see Tasha also asked, how did you link it to the learning outcomes?
So I linked it to the learning outcomes by taking the learning outcomes for those 3 specific Excel modules. It was module 1, 2, and 3 of the textbook that I used when I was lecturing that module. And each outcome was a puzzle.
Thanks, Ciska. Any other questions from our audience members? Thanks so much, Carmen, for posting. Yes, everyone, please do remember that there will be a lunch hour session during which Prof. Nicolene Kutsia is going to speak a bit about self-care. And I've often said to my personnel as well, although sometimes we aren't the people that need to attend, it's always important to attend on behalf of colleagues that maybe would benefit from you being there and be able to share what it is that you have learned. And then also we still have the lucky draw taking place, so please go visit Puma Space. If you go into the virtual room, you'll see on your left there are 2 document links. So you can go in there, you can still enter the competition. There are really great prizes to be won. Ciska, thank you so much. Not only did you finish in time, even after we asked you to start a minute or so later, but I think this was really a valuable session. We appreciate it.